I'm here with Counterlogic Gaming's captain and support player Aphromoo. We're here in the CLG Gaming House. Thank you so much for having us in.
Yeah, man, my pleasure.
Looking ahead, you guys will be playing FlyQuest in the quarterfinals this weekend. A few weeks ago, an interview came out with Immortals jungler Dardoch chastising FlyQuest for relying too heavily on cheese picks and also not taking scrims seriously. Do you find that you're having to prepare for this series differently due to FlyQuest's unique approach to the game?
Preparing for FlyQuest, they do have a lot of cheese picks, but I do think that early on in the season they definitely exhausted most of their options with that, and thankfully there's 5 bans that we have instead of 3, so that you're able to ban out whatever you don't want to play against. Right. And now that they've exhausted most of their options, it's a lot easier to play against them, since I don't think they have anything to surprise people with, unless it's like a Heimerdinger pick or something like that. But I don't know. Other than that, playing against them, the only annoying part for me isn't necessarily their cheese picks. It's just playing against High in general, since he is the shot caller and leader for their team. And he always forces his team into 50-50s, whether they're ahead or behind. And because of that, it's every time you come out of base, you have to make a decision right away. Otherwise, you'll be punished if you don't. And usually that's what they caught other teams off of guard in the early on part of the season. And now that most teams are accustomed to that, it's a lot easier to prepare and watch out for that.
You've been playing professionally for quite some time now, and you're still always in the conversation, in terms of being at the top of your role. What exactly was it that got you into playing League of Legends competitively? And all these years down the road, what's the fire inside you that still drives you to go out there and compete every single day?
What got me into playing League of Legends competitively? I do think at a young age I was always competitive. Any game I played, Unreal Tournament, Diablo 2, World of Warcraft. I played a lot of RTS games with my dad, Age of Empires, StarCraft 2, stuff like that. And I do think just because of, I don't know, my personality or whatever I was born with, the genes, I do dislike not being the best at whatever I do. And I hate it. If I can't be the best, I don't want to play. So for me, that's what I played video games all my life, and then once League of Legends came out, I started playing that a lot, and I was a streamer in the beginning, and then getting into competitive, I just had to be the best at it, and streaming wasn't enough for me, even though it was cool, but playing competitively, it just satisfies that need. I don't even know what it is, but when I win, it's satisfied. So, and then what is the fire that keeps me going? Probably a part of that, me wanting to win as badly as I do, as well as whatever team I'm on. I want them to also succeed. So we do have the same goal where we want to win. And for me, especially as the support player in most games, I like playing support because me amplifying teammates' ceiling to do well. So they have their own ceiling, and then based on how I play, I can raise it infinitely, however good I am. So that's probably my favorite part about playing competitively is, I have to be the best, as well as I can help my teams also achieve greater.
Your career in the professional scene in the LCS has inspired, many a player, both people who are just, the average everyday gamer, but also people who are, maybe looking to try and go pro and follow in your footsteps. What would you have to say to someone who wants to see themselves where you are now?
Damn. Well, it's a tough road. I wouldn't really recommend it to anybody, since it's obviously a lot of pain, emotions, having to stay up 3 days in a row or something like that. Specifically, I can do that, but I wouldn't really wish that on anybody else, since it's almost not. I don't know what death is, but that's what it is. That's what it is. But to get to where I am, I stayed up for a long time, literally streaming 30 plus hours. A couple days in a row, over and over and over consecutively, practicing however many hours I put into League of Legends. And if you do want to do it, you have to be that crazy. You can't just half-ass it. Yeah, I want to do this, and then not be willing to put in the insane amount of work. Because if you're not willing to do that, then there's no way you're going to be able to compete with the top 0.5% of people who do play this game. So if you're not willing to do that, don't do it. But if you are willing to do that, it's going to take a lot of work to do that, especially like convincing parents. So my parents didn't want me to do this at all. And while I was doing it, they prevented me from doing it, which is like take away internet, take away computer sometimes, and there's nothing I can do about that. And I just had to keep swimming, like Dory says.
Do you tease your parents about that ever now that you have this like illustrious career as a as a professional player?
I don't tease my parents about that at all, because usually parents want the best for their kid, and as I understood, and if I was in their shoes, I'd probably honestly do the same thing. If my kid wants to do something that's crazy, no one's ever done it before, I don't think so, kid. Let's stick to what's textbook and easy to do, go to college, stuff like that. And so my parents were just looking out for the best for me, and didn't really want me to go down the wrong path or anything like that. So I respect them that they would show as much care as they did, but since I did have pretty good ambition and motivation towards what I wanted to do, and they allowed me to do it.
Aphro, thank you so much for joining us for this interview. Thank you to CLG for having us in their wonderful gaming house. If you have any more questions for Aphromoo, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And for anything else esports, you can go to HOWLA.com.